All right, hello everyone. Today we're going to look at a new topic, and this topic is that of climographs. Okay, you're probably wondering what is a climograph. Well, first of all let's look at our EQ. Maybe that'll help us to kind of understand. Our new EQ for the day is, you can see here, how can I use a climograph to analyze the climate of a location? So we can use some, context clues here to determine that a climograph is probably going to show us something to do with the climate of a location. Now, our SPI is just to simply interpret a climograph. What you'll be expected to do is to look at a climograph and answer questions accordingly based on the information that you see in the climograph. Okay. Now, a climograph. What is a climograph? First of all, you can see here, this is an example of a climograph. A climograph gives us a general idea of the climate of a location, and it does so by showing temperature and precipitation data, okay, for that particular location. Now, it's really two kinds of graphs put into one. Okay, we looked at graphs earlier in the year, and this is just kind of taking that and putting two into one. You've got a bar graph and you have a line graph. Now, the biggest issue that students have with this is they get it mixed up as to what is being shown with each symbol, I guess you could say. This one here has a key for you to use. Not all climographs will have a key. You can see here that the blue bars represent precipitation, and the red lines and dots represent the average temperature in Fahrenheit for this place. We're not sure exactly what city or state this is referring to, but it doesn't matter. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, you can see over here on the left side, this is where our precipitation in inches is shown. We've got 0 inches all the way up to 4 inches of precipitation. Now, precipitation could be rain, sleet, snow, all that kind of stuff. Now, over here on the right, you've got average temperature. Okay, and it's important for you to notice that this one doesn't go all the way to 100. Okay, students sometimes get confused there and think that this place has a really warm temperature, but if you look at it, it really isn't. The highest temperature for this one is the month of July, and it's only slightly above 70 degrees on average. Okay, so an easy way to help you remember this, is the best way that I can think of, is to think of the bar graphs as like a tall glass of water. Okay, you know, precipitation, rainwater, and if you just think of it as a tall glass of water, maybe that'll help you from getting confused. Now, if we go down, I've got several questions here that I'd like for you to answer. First of all, describe the purpose of a climograph. Okay, if you look at this, what is the general purpose of this graph? Number two, think about what type of job would use one like the climograph that you see above. Okay. Now, let's zoom in here a little bit. And you can see for number three, a farmer in this city decides to plant corn in the month of April. Is he making a wise or an unwise decision? Defend your answer. Now, number four, can you come up with a theory for why, or for which city or state this climograph is representing? Okay, so which city, based on what you know about the weather and climate of different places, and based on the information in the climograph, see if you can come up with a theory as for which city or state this climograph is representing, and use evidence from the climograph to defend your answer. Now, for number five, think about if you're going to give some advice to someone who is planning on moving to this particular city or state, what advice would you give them? Now, you'll be expected to answer these questions in your composition book. A copy of this will be on the blog for you to use, and hopefully this video will be helpful as you prepare for future tests and assessments. And again, this is a climograph, okay? So we are analyzing climate here, okay? Remember that the bar graph part of it represents the precipitation. The line graph part of it represents temperature, okay? Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you were to have a climograph where the line graph is way up at the top and the bar graphs are all at the bottom, think about what kind of place that would be. That would be like a desert, okay? Very, very little precipitation, very, very high temperature. So anyway, that's about all I have. please study. Be prepared to use this information in class. We'll actually be creating our own Climograph. As you can see, here's a template for it. And you'll actually look up a city and you'll have to plot the Climograph information yourself. So we'll do that in class. Be prepared for that and have a